The tastiest segment in all sports, where we look at a menu of teams to see who has the recipe for success and who is just cooked. We also use this segment as an excuse to order and consume a pie live on air. Today, pear apple crumb.
I've already had some. It's delicious.
Yeah, you guys won't stop eating.
And now, title pie.
Thank you for the great introduction, as always, Kevin Wildes. You want to take a bite before I start?
Well, I'm not going to eat the pie.
Okay. Less than 1%ers. Teams that are above 500 in the playoff picture, but I felt bad including the Knicks on this. I was going to bump them up because Jalen's coming back.
That's brutal.
But they just lost. They played another really good team, got clocked again. They're out of there. The Grizzlies, despite last night's buzzer beater win, they've been out of there. The Bucks dealing with injuries. I don't think the Pacers are good enough. There is a new team to the pie, though. Brew is not going to like this because you know what?
I know who it's going to be, and they have been good.
They have been good. 1%.
Detroit. Really?
Fast.
Really?
Yeah. Really. Really. For the last 50, they've lost a couple in a row. The last 50 games, they've been top 10 net rating. Cade Cunningham looking like is he going to maybe steal Donovan's spot in first team All-NBA?
No.
Well, it's on the board.
It's open.
It's
Steph?
Yeah,
what about Steph?
Steph good, right? But he's certainly going to be second team All-NBA, and I'm just happy for him. Give him 1% chance. Detroit.
That's kind.
Up 1%. There you go, KW. 2%. Houston Rockets.
Sure.
Yeah, listen. Wild.
Really?
Luckily, there are no back-to-backs in the playoffs since Wild has cracked the Rockets code. You just throw out all the games they play on a back-to-back. Matters nothing. Obviously, Şengün's excellent as long as not being guarded by a 40-year-old. They have a great head coach. They have a real identity, 2%. Steady at 3%, and I'll be honest, I don't know that I could actually put them higher than 3% ever, the Clippers, because they just have that. They have two storm clouds looming in the distance. One is inevitable, and that is James Harden in the playoffs when the playoffs begin. The other one, I hope it just lingers and never comes, and that's Kawhi's injury history and his ability to play a full postseason. It hasn't been since the bubble that we saw him play, and even then the team fell apart in round two.
Right?
Well, two series. Yeah. But so they're at 3%. But as constituted, if they could maybe get that Oz, the mentalist guy, does he do hypnotism?
Enough with that.
I agree with you.
Enough with him.
All right, so take him out. If they could get a sports hypnotist to convince James Harden it's February and not April, maybe they'd have a shot. Up to 4%, Minnesota. I really like, sorry, Wild, step on your corner, the vibes after that Denver win. And I like Ant little kind of back and forth Finch about, let me get my 30.
Yep.
The Brew talked about Julius Randle the other day. His career, 37% from the field in the playoffs. That's concerning. Right. See if that was, a Knicks thing. Probably not just a Knicks thing, but regardless, I'll give them, they're up to 4%.
Who they play well, too? OKC.
Oh, yes.
I think they're 2-1 against OKC.
Down to 5%. The Denver Nuggets. I want to see how long the tail of that Russ-induced loss is. We saw, they lost that game they shouldn't have lost. They then, because it goes to double overtime, rest people against the Spurs. They lose that game. Russ also had a tough missed layup in the waning minutes of that game as well. Now they play the Warriors. This is a game they definitively should win. They've beaten the Warriors, for 2.5 years straight?
9
Right, 9 straight against the Warriors, but they're down to 5%. Down just a hair from 10 to 9 is Cleveland. Here's the thing. I'm just going to be totally honest with America. I don't think anyone ever actually really believed in Cleveland as a champion. But when they were on pace to maybe win 70 games, when they, kept having this, they had a 13-game winning streak, then a 15-game winning streak, then another 15-game winning streak. It was like you have no choice but to give them their due, even if any of us were asked to bet the series against the Celtics, we'd all be betting the Celtics.
Yes.
Now that, 5-5 in their last 10, a lot of that's obviously the 4-game losing streak, but you know who did clip them after the 4-game losing streak? Detroit. down to 9%. Up to 9%. Golden State Warriors. Now, Wildes, I think, is going to be mad at me because he wants them with a bigger slice of the pie. I'm not quite sure. Do the seeds matter? Do they not? They're currently the 5 seed, which is really impressive because they had been stuck in the play-in forever, but they're still only a game out of it. But with Steph playing at this level, they're certainly terrifying for any team on the other side of them in a playoff series. And Draymond, I don't think, is an X factor because we know what Draymond's going to be. He's healthy. He's locked in. He's trying to win Defensive Player of the Year. Jimmy Butler's an X factor, and all those kids who have almost no playoff experience of any substantial matter is an X factor. They're up to 9%. Down all the way to 12%, the Lakers, because the defense was never going to be the best in the league. When they made the trade, we wondered, is it going to be a bottom 5 defense, or can they just be average? Well, for whatever reason, whether it's, small sample size or not, the last, 15 games, Wildes, it's been a bottom 5 defense. But the real reason they're down to 12% is because we need Luka to be Luka. Now, he has been in the playoffs every year of his career. He also, no year of his career, has been slumping heading into the playoffs. I'm not saying he's going to be slumping heading into the playoffs, but got to be fair. And now, the 2 monster slices of the pie, similar to what Wildes and Brew have on their plate. Down to 25% is Boston. And you might say, why would they be down? They've been playing great. They have been playing great. They are only down because this team, they flip-flop with this team. Last week, it was 30% Boston, 25% OKC. This week, show me OKC, please. It's 30% OKC because when we have a half dozen games left and they are right now in Vegas like just a 2-1 dog to win 70 games, and we can see the finish line of the season, and they appear that they are going to be headed into the playoffs essentially fully healthy, and they appear that no matter how you slice their pie, so to speak, it's like they're good against these teams, they're good at home, they're good on the road. They could become the 3rd 70-win team ever. They're going to have the league MVP. They deserve the biggest slice of the pie. I don't remember the last time they lost. That, Brew, is the latest edition of Title Pie.
Okay. It's not bad. It's not as bad as my tagline would suggest.
What is your
I don't know what the tagline is.
Who wrote your tagline, Brew?
General revamping of the pie. Okay.
That's not a thing.
I'm gonna generally. First of all, look. They're having cute little seasons. Get Detroit and Houston out of there. They have no chance.
They're the 2 seed.
If one of those teams wins the championship, I will buy you 2 lunch for the next month. How about that?
That's
for a month. A month. You don't want
Wildes,
that?
That doesn't
That's
sound
not
like
something?
a lot.
It's like $200.
Wildes, that doesn't sound like a lot. You're underestimating how wildly cheap Brew is. You might as well have said he'd shave his head, but go ahead.
I mean, look, this is a great season for both of those teams. And maybe I think next year Houston will be maybe a serious contender.
Not a 1 in 100
They have no chance.
Okay.
Houston, you know this. Do you think Houston or Detroit have any chance of winning the championship?
1 in 100.
I think that's too much.
Yeah.
I'll put them down there with the Bucks and the rest of those teams under the 1%. Then I like your order. I do still have the Lakers 3rd, but I would move Golden State closer. I think now I'm putting Golden State.
9-12.
I'm putting it 1 percentage point behind. The Warriors are 1 percentage point behind the Lakers, and then the Cavs and the Nuggets are 1 percentage point behind the Warriors. So I think it's close.
You'd have
the
it like
West
10,
is that
9,
close.
8, 7 or something.
Yeah, the West is that
That
close.
wasn't that much revamped.
No.
I said general revamping.
In other words, he agrees with the pie.
General
He agrees with the order.
revamping.
But here's the bigger news, Wildes. You remember last week when you said, it might have been this week, I think it was last week, when you were like, you want to reserve the take that Brew is going to switch his pick from the Lakers to the Clippers.
Yes.
Clippers.
Let's just edit that. That Brew is going to change his pick from the Lakers to the Warriors.
I knew he was going to.
That's where
He wants me off
Brew,
the
you've
Lakers
been batting your eyes.
because I was the first one there. The first one there.
No, I
He's
don't
mad.
want anything.
He thought he trumped me with the Lakers going to win it all.
Yeah,
but no, he didn't.
Okay.
You are going to move off, though.
Let me watch and observe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two big games for them.
I'm going back to Denver.
OKC.
I'm not ready to go all in like I was.
Wait, I thought you were OKC. Oh,
No.
You're just moving Denver.
I'm giving Denver 10%.
Okay.
I still think OKC, if I had to bet pies on it, I would bet the Thunder because all the statistics tell me to bet the Thunder. But I feel like Denver, watching the game last night, Lakers-Warriors, I was like, huh. And I'll go back even further. My favorite take of yours for the last recent history, when you said, Luka is a ball hog. I'm like, that's right. And it's a nice, clean, simple take.
Yeah.
It was accurate and it was easy to convey. Denver has a tall guy who is good. That's it. Like, he's going to do damage against.
Don't overcomplicate
No,
it, right?
The tall guy in Denver is better than the tall people in Golden State and LA. Nuggets record this season against the Thunder, they can beat the Thunder. They can beat the Lakers. Obviously, their last 10 games against the Lakers are 7-3, but okay. And then Warriors, they're 9-0 in their last 9 games against the Warriors. They play the Warriors tonight, so that will move to 10-0. Why haven't they been super dominant? Aaron Gordon's been in and out of the lineup. Once the full finals roster is here with Aaron Gordon, they're great 30-16 without Aaron Gordon, 17-14, and this is kind of a throwaway because we all know it. But playoff Jamal Murray, we talk about playoff Luka, we talk about playoff Jimmy. You don't like playoff Jamal Murray now?
I don't know that I believe. Correct. I think that last year we saw a lot of cracks in playoff Jamal Murray. A lot of those playoff numbers are buttressed by the bubble run and the championship run, which, by the way, they won the championship. It's not like those were fraudulent, but I don't know that we're...
Last year when he was sending the Lakers home?
Last year, he had those 2 unbelievable shots. He was not great in that series, and he certainly wasn't great when they blew the 3-2 lead.
Blowing the 3-2 lead's different, but like hitting 2 game winners.
No,
that was an odd series because he wasn't great.
Right, remember, but he hit those 2 shots. Yeah,
come alive.
Right.
So I'm moving Denver back up. I'm not totally in love with Denver.
Here's my problem with that analysis.
The tall guy one?
Yes. Like, do you think if the Nuggets played the Lakers or the Warriors in a series, Joker could, do something crazy? Like, we've only ever seen Jordan do it, but like score 60 in a playoff
Wolves
game?
are different.
Because if they did that, they'd certainly win. We
just
just saw him have one of the greatest games ever, and they lost.
No,
and
the Wolves are different.
Right, but that's...
They can't beat the Wolves.
Right, but that would, to me, go against the argument of the way to slow him down is tall people. The Wolves have Rudy Gobert. He scored 60, and they lost. The Lakers, the last time they played him, had nothing but 6'8" guys, or 2 times ago they played him, and they slowed him down. So it's weird.
They're also, the reason he scored 60 is because Jamal Murray didn't play.
No, I understand that piece of it. My point is, I don't know that this Nuggets team is good enough that they are guaranteed to win when Joker's great. I know that I said that awkwardly, but my point is that I think they are a flawed enough team that even if Joker goes nuclear, they can lose.
Yes.
And so that's
But not against the Warriors or the Lakers.
Well, why you say that against the Lakers? I don't. The Lakers.
They're 1-1. Or they're 500.
Yeah, they're 2. Right, they're 2-2. So they certainly can lose against the Lakers. They beat them half and half this year.
That's 7-game series. Come on.
What?
No way.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.